Hey y'all, it's your old girl Rashonda, and I just want to say I'm sorry for the way I look today, that I'm not feeling myself. I always try to keep my spirits up and help everybody else, and sometimes when you need help, it don't seem like you don't have nobody. But today I hurt for a different reason. The day is my sister's birthday. She's no longer here with us, though. You see, my mother always loved my sister more than she loved me. And believe me, she didn't even try to make a secret about it. But it never really hurt me, though. My sister was my best friend. She was my rock. And my mother, that I never had. Well, that is until the day he took her from me. Now, I won't even give him the pleasure of saying his name. But I definitely would call him, I like to call it what I would call the monster in my closet. But he never got to eat me, though. Nah, he never got to eat me, thanks to my sister. Me and my sister, we shared a room. And I'm sure he thought that we were both just out of it. We had a long, fun day at the park, and we played so hard that day together. And then we finished it off with a late night hot bath. I'm quite sure he watched us through a crack in the door and then hid in our closet until we fell asleep that night. I know he thought it was easier to start with me. I know he did because, I was the youngest. So it would be easy to start with the smaller target. Well, at least he tried. He climbed in the bed beside me and he put his hand tightly on my mouth. And he told me, he said, if you tell anybody, I'll kill your mother, your brother, and your sister. And in that moment, I couldn't think of do nothing but just nod a little bit. Just nod my head just a little bit. I don't know what got into me. I started out very afraid in that moment, but as he began to loosen his hands off of my mouth, instead of screaming, I just decided to bite down hard as I could. And I bit him hard, too, to be only a 7-year-old girl with hardly any of my teeth in my mouth. But I bit him hard as I could. Unfortunately, that night, that me biting his hand and caused him to yell out, and it startled my sister, who was lying in the bed adjacent to me. And I tell you, when she realized what was going on, she jumped up and she was like a wild tiger. She jumped up and jumped on him without hesitation when she realized what was going on. But she was no match for his strength. And of course, we yelled for my mother, We yelled and we yelled for my mother. But knowing her, she was out with a whole nother man and hadn't made it back yet. So he choked my sister to death. He choked her to death. And I tried everything I could to beat him off, but my little hits wasn't counting for nothing. So I got up in the darkness. I couldn't see. But within that darkness, I grabbed for my toys. I threw my toys at him. I threw my toys. I threw books. I even tried to hit him with a hanger. But nothing worked, y'all. Nothing worked. And I couldn't save her. And then she was gone. But that wasn't enough for him. After that, he tried coming towards me. And in that moment, then I couldn't do nothing but scream to the top of my lungs. I screamed so loud that it woke up my brother, who showed up at the room door. And I guess the monster didn't want any neighbors to be alarmed or come knocking at the door. So, you know, he ran. He ran out as fast as he can, and we never saw him again after that. The saddest part is when my mother finally came home, to all the chaos and confusion had sort of died down. It was a few cops still standing around. All I wanted to do is crawl up in her arms and so I could just feel safe again. But instead, she yelled at me and told me that everything was my fault. To be honest with you guys, it almost seemed as if she was more mad that he was gone than about what had happened to us. And on that day, I knew my time was limited there because she had threatened me with it every chance she got. So she messed with several men after that. But, by the time I was 13, she ended up moving another man in. She messed with several men after that, but she never moved them in. But then by the time I was 13, she wound up moving another man in. And 3 days after that, 3 days later, right before my 14th birthday, she put me out. December 2nd, 1969. I'll never forget that day. It was so cold. It was so cold. It was so cold. I had nothing. And I've been on the streets ever since. And now I take so many pills, I don't even know what they for anymore. But it don't matter, none of them seem to work though. Well, at least in my mind, they don't work, unless I top it off with this. My favorite drink. But, I'm going to keep fighting, though. Matter of fact, guys, I brought me something. I brought me something from the dollar store I went to. It's like a tap button, and I figure I get it and at least try to see if I just keep squeezing it, I figure it will wake me up from the repeated scenes of my reality that play over and over again in my head. But then I say it also reminds me of my own heartbeat. And why I have to keep moving for my sister. But y'all know I really miss her. And I would give anything in the world just to feel her warm hug as she used to sing to me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Sister, you've been on my mind, oh, sister, we're two of a kind. Sister, I'm keeping my eye on you. And I bet you think that I know nothing but singing the blues. But, sister, have I got news for you? I'm something And I hope you know that you were something too. So let me tell you something, sister. I'm keeping my eye on you. Okay, guys, I hope that I make it through this whole video. That was Rose story, and stay tuned for more Rose story. It won't be on here. I told y'all I'm working on a lot of things, but there's so much coming at me at one time that I only can be grateful to God for giving to me that I'm doing a lot of different things, but if you are interested in more of Rose story, you will get the opportunity to learn more detail in a more deeper way all about Rose story. And these are the things that we take along with us sometime and we try to deal with on our own and get through, and it's very difficult to heal from. During these times, as y'all can see, I made up a little board and I had this light because flashing. I hope it's not irritating anybody who may have seizures or anything. If it does, please turn away. I should have said that in the beginning. But at the end of the day, I have this light as the illusions, as the brain fog, as the place that leaves us in, and then how we have to be on these drugs and barbiturates and whatever, and all these little things that we take to try to suppress the pain, but really only put a little mask on it. It doesn't heal us from what's really going on. As y'all can see on my bootleg board back here, I did 4 faces. I hope y'all can see it. Let me see. Okay, behind me. One is the face of fear. One is the face of pain. One is the face of numbness. And one is anger. Now, fear, pain, and anger is self-explanatory, but sometimes when we're facing the numbness, it's like we try to black it out of our mind as if it never existed, and sometimes that can be the worst, because at least when the emotion of fear, pain, and anger is being released, it's some form of releasing it. But the numbness is when you're just holding it in, and it builds up and builds up, and sometimes it can result into people committing suicide, hurting themselves, hurting others, whatever. And I just wanted to share this with y'all. Y'all, I'm not the best. I mean, you know, if you see my desk, you'll be like, oh my goodness, and my makeshift lighting and everything. But I hope y'all, like I always tell y'all, get the point I'm trying to make when I'm doing these things. And I'm a little late with this. This is a part of the childhood wounds part of what I'm doing for this month, okay? And I may not I want to get at least 2 more out, but I'm not sure because it's so close to the end. But I hope this will help somebody to go deep inside themselves and try to get help for their pain instead of suppressing it or taking it out on others or anything like that, or repeating these cycles, okay? And I'm going to end it here because I don't want my video to mess up, but I love you guys. And when I say it, I keep saying this, but when I say it, I mean it. You know what I'm saying? It's all coming from the heart. And I hope that y'all have a beautiful Sunday, and take this message with you and even share it with somebody else who you think or you know in your family or anybody who may be struggling, and try to guide them towards seeking help for their addictions, their pain, or whatever has put them in this situation. Okay. All right. And that's all I'm going to say to y'all today. And I got to get this lipstick. Y'all know I don't wear makeup except for my eyeballs. I feel funny. So I got to go ahead and wash my face. But I hope this helped somebody out there, okay? And I love you guys. You already know. Have a blessed Sunday. Bye-bye.